morning to all of you. I first want to send just big virtual hugs to our Neolife family. Thank you so much for being with us and for giving us the most valuable gift, which is your time. Now, the reason that we're here today is to start our year off with new information, new insights, and a new momentum so we can really make it the year we want. So you can make it the year you want. And now the next few hours are just going to be power packed with sessions from doctors, nutrition experts, health professionals, and social entrepreneurs, all coming together because we are on a mission to give everyone the power to live healthier and happier lives. Neolife isn't just a company. It's a community, a wellness community, full of people who've recognized one really important fact: that we do have the power to live healthier and happier lives, that our health is not a lottery ticket. Your health is not a lottery ticket. It's not a matter of chance. It is a matter of design. We are beautifully designed and wonderfully made. And the more we understand about that design, the more power we have to control what our health looks like now and into the future. I'm not saying that bad things don't happen. They do, and a lot of times it's not our fault, but there is so much that is in our control. Now, I'm really excited about the future and where we're headed. Together, we are going to be the single biggest force behind ending the trend of poor health and poverty. But before we get into that, I'd like to share the story that started us down this path. And that is my father's story, the founder of the company, Jerry Brassfield. My dad grew up in a small town in the Central Valley of California called Porterville. It's the kind of place where you just see miles and miles of farms and orchards and agriculture. And now some of you might have heard him tell this story before of a particularly memorable and near-death experience he had when he was just a young boy. And no, it's not something cool like extreme sports related. He struggled with severe asthma and allergies and hay fever. And the memorable experience he has is that one night when it got really bad, it's gotten bad a lot of times, but one particular night, as he was sitting up in bed, he was just gasping for air. He could hear his mother's voice in the next room, and she was telling the family pastor, "I'm so sorry to call you here so late. I just don't think he's going to make it through the night." And that's scary, right? You can see why it was pretty memorable. Thankfully, he made it. I'm especially thankful, or I wouldn't be here. But can you imagine just how his mom must have felt? Just helpless. Because if you think about it, like back in the 1940s, there's no such thing as an inhaler. And in case you're thinking, like, wait a minute, 1940s, he must be pretty old. Yes, he is, but you never guess it by looking at him, and you'll see later today when he comes up here to share. And don't feel bad for him because he was such a little prankster back then, and he still is today. Before I came up on stage, he tried to steal my notes from me so that I didn't notice. Rude, right? But anyways, his mom realized there was no modern medicine she could turn to. And by the grace of God, she discovered nutrition supplements. Back then, that was actually a pretty radical thing to do, to try. Supplements were seen as this like hippy-dippy stuff, but that hippy-dippy stuff worked. And it's amazing what the human body is capable of when you give it the right nutrition, the nutrition we're designed to have. And so he went from sick and barely surviving to becoming a pretty strong guy. And that's what just gave him this total unwavering belief in the power of good nutrition. My dad actually had me when he was 50 years old, when I was born. And I have to tell you, he made all the other dads feel pretty old because he never skipped a beat. I mean, we'd go surfing, race car driving, skiing, and today he's still challenging people to push-up contest everywhere we go, and winning. That's the important part. But back to his story, he had this life-changing experience, and like we all tend to do, he couldn't help but tell people about it. And that's when he realized that most people, they want and need better health, not just because they're sick, but because don't we all want more energy to look great, to feel great? And my dad has always been a bit of an entrepreneur. And he was like, wait a minute, this is big. If we were to make the best nutrition products that really work, like I could actually make a living and make a huge difference in people's lives. And so that's what he did. He made it his mission to offer the best supplements in the world and give everyone the power to live healthier and happier lives. Now, to accomplish this big vision, it was no easy feat. So he teamed up with some of the most brilliant doctors, scientists, and researchers in the world. And one of them was Dr. Arthur First, a really impressive and visionary guy himself. For example, he actually founded the Stanford Chemotherapy Laboratory, and he was named one of the 10 most important innovators in the history of the University of San Francisco. And he created the first ever oral chemotherapy treatment. So Dr. First earned more awards and degrees than I could fit on this slide. And after spending about 2 decades as one of the most important disease prevention and cancer researchers, Dr. First decided to switch gears. He was like, okay, it's time. I'm going to focus on my true passion. And that was nutrition, in advancing the science and understanding of the role that nutrition can play in protecting and regenerating our health. He saw and understood the power of nutrition, and specifically supplements made from whole foods, the stuff that our bodies were designed to be fueled by. So products based in nature and backed by science. Now, Dr. First, he founded the Neolife Scientific Advisory Board. We call it the SAB for short. And they are the reason our products are the best. Our products are created by some of the world's most respected doctors and scientists, not marketing geniuses. That's a really important fact. And it's actually incredible how many breakthroughs in science can be traced back to our SAB. Even inventions like chelating amino acids and protein instantizing technology. It's kind of a mouthful, but what it is what makes protein shakes disperse in water and not clump up. Our scientists invented those processes, and now everyone's using it. But something I find kind of puzzling is that as Neolife continues to advance, everyone else seems like they're still just catching up. And I was reminded of just how far ahead we are when we looked into partnering with some third-party manufacturers a couple of years back. So we have our own manufacturing company, but we always are auditing ourselves to make sure we make the best products at the best price. So we picked a few of the biggest and most highly respected third-party manufacturers and said, okay, here are several of our formulas. Go make them and tell us the price. And we actually gave them formulas that we consider to be pretty simple. But it wasn't too long before they came back to us and said, sorry, we don't want your business. Your products are just too complicated. They're a big pain in the butt. And one of them was even my dad's good friend, and they still rejected us. By the way, a lot of our competitors and the biggest supplement producers in the country go to them. But they told us, why won't you just do what everyone else does and use ingredients that we buy in bulk, the same processes, the same technology, and make it so much more simple? No way. No way. We promise quality without compromise, products that work. And it's not all unselfish. It's actually very selfishly. I would not want to take that stuff, and I want the best. I know you do too. I told this to a friend the other day, and she was like, wait a minute, does that mean you use more ingredients? I thought simple is better. Well, yes, simple is great, but the technology involved in extracting nutrients from food in a way that protects them and gives you quality and purity and potency is very complex. The fact is not all supplements are created equally. And I'm really excited for us to hear more about that from the SAB and doctors and nutrition experts joining us today. And not all skincare and home care cleaners are created equally either. So what goes in our bodies, on our bodies, and the environment around us is important too. So that's why we make great organic skincare and safe, family-friendly, earth-friendly cleaners as well. Neolife has now been in business for over 60 years, 64 years, as Josh pointed out earlier. And we are a worldwide nutrition company, operating in over 50 countries. Our mission as a company has never been greater because the need for better health has never been greater. Not just because of the pandemic. That's been a good wake-up call to prioritize our health. But for a long time, we've been getting sicker. There's this chronic disease epidemic happening just all around us. Things like heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, you name it. And I have the statistics, but I decided I'm not going to show them because it has gotten so bad that it's almost become normal. Like, it shouldn't be normal. Chronic diseases are also called diseases of lifestyle because they're largely preventable. But don't just take it from me. Here's what the World Health Organization has to say about it. The major causes of chronic disease are known, and if these risk factors were eliminated, at least 80% of all heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes would be prevented. Over 40% of cancer would be prevented from the World Health Organization. And here's another one from the CDC. I got this straight from their website a couple years ago. And they say good nutrition can help lower the risk for many chronic diseases, including all these ones you see listed right there. Now, I want to be very clear when I say that we do not prevent or treat or cure anything. We don't have miracle products, but we do offer good nutrition, and that can be powerful. And now, it's not even the diseases themselves that are the biggest problem. It's what they're stealing from us. Money, happiness, enjoyment. We're designed to live long and live well. We shouldn't be sick and tired. We should feel better, look better, and live better. If you're new to Neolife, you might be thinking, why don't I see your products in stores or in ads? And that's because we don't sell in stores and we don't advertise. Our products are too good to sell in stores. They'll get lost in this sea of confusion, and you end up being forced to compete on price, not quality. Like, have you ever walked into store that has a vitamin aisle, like a drugstore, and then just looking at that big shelf of so many products, your eyes just glaze over thinking, how the heck am I gonna find what I'm looking for here? We are a relationship-based company, based on people sharing their experience with other people. And through our wellness community, we become your trusted partner for access to education and solutions for better health. And it's kind of strange to think about, but everyone here today watching this wellness rally is going to learn more about nutrition by the end of the event than most medical doctors do in their entire 7+ years of schooling. And it's true, if you don't believe me, ask a doctor. They usually get maybe 1 or 2 hours of nutrition education. Of course, there are great doctors out there who find ways to get this kind of education, and you'll see examples of this today. But no matter who you are or what your background is, our goal is to give everyone the power to live healthier and happier lives. We're committed to ending the trend of poor health, and that in itself is a massive undertaking. We simply can't do it alone. And that's why we offer a club membership where you can be a customer, shop at a discount, even earn free products when you refer your friends. And that's also why we have a network of independent promoters who've partnered with us to make a difference. Now, being a promoter, it's not for everyone. It is for people who share our passion for helping others, who love the products, who want to be a part of this global movement to end the trend and start their own nutrition business. And what happens is, instead of paying advertisers and big retailers, we pay promoters for sharing Neolife, and we give them the tools and the technology and the support for success. There are a lot of people who could use an extra $500 or $1,000 a month and do this spare time like a side gig or part-time. And there's also people who recognize that there is a big opportunity. People who catch the vision and understand that the world's biggest problems become the world's biggest business opportunities. The world's biggest problems become the world's biggest business opportunities. And we have examples of just incredible individuals, promoters around the world who they catch that vision, they decide to build massive businesses, sometimes spanning multiple countries and continents, and the impact just so many lives. You'll get a chance to hear from some of our top social entrepreneurs in North America later today. And as you listen to their stories, you'll know if it's right for you. If it resonates and it feels right, then join us. This is what happened to me 11 years ago when I joined the Neolife family as a promoter. Yes, we have great products, but what also really sets us apart are the people. This is a relationship business. The community is so special that we've created. And the other day, I read about an interesting study. There's this psychologist named Sheldon Cohen, and he invited 276 healthy volunteers into his lab, and then he infected them all with a virus. Sounds kind of crazy, right? It's true, though. So before they entered the experiment, they were asked to fill out a questionnaire. And the question he wanted to answer was this: do people's social networks affect their ability to fight the common colds? The findings that were pretty interesting, so I wanted to talk about it today. So since germs are contagious, we assume being around more people means we're more likely to contract an illness. But as it turns out, the more types of relationships a person has, the less susceptible they are to developing a full-blown cold, even after direct exposure. And so this was his conclusion. When we have a wide range of relationships, it provides us with a sense of psychological security that buffers us from day-to-day stress, and our bodies are better at defending themselves. We were designed to be connected to one another and have a robust community around us. Now, knowing there are people who have your back, knowing you have people you can count on is powerful. And in the Neolife family, we have your back. I know that's easy to say, but if you are new, I guarantee we're going to prove it to you as soon as you get to know us. And when I say this, I'm not just talking about me or the company support team, although we're just so blessed to have the most passionate and committed and awesome team members. But I'm also talking about our promoter leaders in the field, especially them. They're incredible. From the president's team at the top and on, I feel like I literally have to pinch myself when I think about how truly blessed we are to have such a loving, passionate, smart, caring, just group of people in the Neolife family. And we also have a lot of fun too. But at the end of the day, our goal is to deliver value to our customers and business partners, to offer a relationship-based community, environment, products, education, and a startup business that can truly change the health of our nation and the entire world. To end the trend, to change the way people think, change our mindsets, recognize that our health is not a lottery ticket. It's not a matter of chance. It is a matter of design. Yes, bad things can happen, and it's not always our fault, but that doesn't mean we should give up. There is hope. Every great movement throughout history has started from a small group of people who are just determined to make a difference. And together, we are going to make history. Together, we are going to be the single biggest force behind ending the trend of poor health and poverty. Thank you so much for joining us today. Love you all, and God bless you.